Hello everyone, welcome to another video. This one's going to be a little bit different in that this video talking about Dragon Age the Veilguard started as one thing and has now become something else. Initially I had planned to do a sort of video diary where I would upload like chunks as I played the game. That didn't really work out for several reasons. One, procrastination. Two, physical illness, which I'm still recovering from, and I've been sick since roughly the game came out. So, yeah, fun times. Fun times for everybody. So, what we're gonna do, since I did record a bunch of my thoughts as I played the game, I've got about 10 different clips to show you guys from around when I started playing all the way up to the end. So I'm going to let those play, just so you can see kind of my thoughts as they came, and then when you see me, in this again, we're going to talk about the game now that I've had time to, think about it and let a few things sit, and we are going to get into spoiler territory, like major spoilers. So when you see me wearing this again, if you don't want spoilers, go away. Like, come back after, because there are things in the story that I do want to talk about. Before I get into spoilers, I will give my overall impressions of the game, and then I'll let you know when I'm going to start talking about spoilers. Alright. Current me will see you in a few minutes. Say hi to past me.
Okay, so got my first trophy for the game. I've done the prologue, which BioWare showed off to us. So far, overall, the new visual look does take a little bit of getting used to. I don't hate it, like some people online do. I do think Dragon Age has looked different about every other game, if not, between all the games. Again, this is something I'm going to have to go back and look at when I replay them. The fact that you can jump is a new mechanic. I don't remember being able to jump in the other 3 games. I don't remember being able to jump in most BioWare games, actually. Unless you count, the frickin' hover pack from Mass Effect Andromeda. The combat so far does feel similar to Dragon Age 2, although that one feels a bit faster than this. This does feel a bit more slow, and the timing of the button inputs, the timing isn't, off, but definitely, if you hit something you don't mean to, you're gonna do the thing regardless. So, that's something I'm gonna have to get used to, or maybe futz around and see if I can mess with that any. So far, though. But, again, I'm probably only, an hour in, so let's see how things progress from there. Alright, well, this is the end of day 1 playing the game. I'm about 6 hours, 21 minutes in. Recruited 2 companions, and game's pretty solid so far. Pretty solid. So, I'm looking forward to playing more tomorrow. See you then. Good morning, everyone. We are about to get started with day 2 of Dragon Age the Veilguard. And, I haven't actually started playing yet, so my progress from the last clip that you just saw is still accurate. One thing I did want to talk about last night that I just slipped my mind. So, I know there were some people that weren't feeling the art style of this game. I'm kind of iffy on it, me personally. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. One thing I did want to mention was I have really liked some of the different creature designs in this art style. The Pride Demon especially, I like how it looks in this. Sorry, I haven't been awake very long. In this style, I do like how the Pride Demon looks a lot. And the one thing that I was kind of iffy on, and they seem to have a story reason for it that I'm not going to get into, the Darkspawn kind of look weird. Like, they definitely look very different from what I remember the Darkspawn looking like all the way back in Origins, you know. What little I was able to see of the Darkspawn. But they do kind of give a story reason as to why they look a little different in this game. Which, you know, I'll let it slide. But anyway, that's all I've got for the moment. I will be back in, I don't know, a little while. Probably by the time I hit double-digit hours. If not before then, to give y'all an update on what I think of the game. A couple of things I've noticed. Excuse me. That's a great start to this clip. A couple of things I have noticed playing this game. They seem to have borrowed the chest opening elements and if you're in the middle of some dialogue, like out in the open, and something stops said dialogue, it'll pick back up where you left off. They seem to have borrowed that from the more recent God of War games, which is not a bad thing. I like that, actually. And I did just discover that GIFs are back. GIFs, last I remember, were in Dragon Age Origins, and thankfully they have little icons for who the gift is for. So, that's a plus. That is a plus, in my opinion. Alright, still on day 2. We're about almost 15 hours in. And, man, some of those mini-bosses are a fucking pain, dude. Like, I spent like 30 minutes throwing myself at one that's only like 4 levels above me. I'm at a level 16, it's a level 20, and it is still kicking my ass. And I'm in normal mode, guys. Oh, for anybody who thought this game was going to be watered down and too easy, I mean, yeah, I guess you could kind of make it that way, but like, if you have it on normal, it's still a bit of a challenge. So there is that. One other thing I did notice here recently, I think I'm in part 6 out of 14, and I did notice there's an item you get that allows you to use some of your companion's traversal abilities, even if you don't have that companion with you. So, on the one hand, I mean, that's convenient. On the other, I can see some people getting annoyed with that. It's like, you know, feel like maybe you should have to bring those people back with you in order to get to that area. But, convenience, annoying. I don't know. I think I prefer convenience, honestly. But that's just me. Anyway, might play some more later. Don't know yet. If this just does happen to be the end of the day too, well, then that's what I got. Hey, everybody. This is the end of day 2 of Dragon Age Veilguard. I'm about 15 hours in. Almost. I think I'm around somewhere the halfway point, according to the trophies. I'll be real, I did a lot of running around doing side stuff today. I'm very tired. I'm calling it a night. And, that will probably also be the end of this video. And, so tomorrow, or today, whenever you see this, I'll be throwing it together and putting it up, hopefully. This is going to be an editing nightmare, I know that. But, anyway. So, so far, after 2 days and about 15 hours, roughly the halfway point, it's alright. I'm not sure where I'd rank it just yet. Story-wise, I mean, it's not, like, fully clicked for me yet, story-wise. I do feel like the last one, Inquisition, was a bit more put together by this point in the campaign. But one thing that is standing out to me is just the characters. In fact, I had to make a big decision right before I ended. Or, not right before I ended, but a little while ago. And, excuse me, I'm tired. And, now one of the characters actually is, they're not happy with me right now, for reasons. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. The characters do seem to be the standout piece so far in this game. Hopefully the story kind of picks up and clicks after a certain point. And, well, we'll just see what tomorrow brings. Okay, so, day 4, technically, of playing Dragon Age. I didn't record anything for day 3, even though I did have some thoughts. So this recording's gonna have those thoughts. And I didn't play any Monday. Took a break. So, there is one game mechanic that annoys the crap out of me. And it annoys the crap out of me in really any game that has it. And it's, your character touches water and they can't swim. Like, so you can absolutely fall into water in this game, even during combat. Your character does a whole, I can't swim! And, then screen goes black, puts you back on land. If you're not gonna, unless it's something like the older Grand Theft Auto games, where, you drive into the frickin' water and you die. If you're not gonna make it to where I can get in water, why not just put up an invisible wall? Just put up an invisible wall between me and the water. Especially during combat. That is annoying. Speaking of combat, there's definitely been some times playing this game against some of the mini-bosses where, because I'm playing a warrior and there's a shield throw mechanic, I have felt like I'm Captain America inside of a Dark Souls game. And that's because I keep picking fights with shit that's higher level than me. Suffice to say, I've lost track of the death counter. It's happened quite a bit. So yeah, there's that. It's definitely been a lot of, rolling around and dodging and throwing my shield at enemies and fun, happy stuff like that. Another thing that kind of annoys me, and again, applies to any RPG that does this, your dialogue. It doesn't give you the full thing you're going to say, and sometimes it doesn't even say it word for word. Like, it just gives you the general vibe of what you're going to say. Like, if you're going to do that, if you're going to give me dialogue options, let me know what I'm saying. In full. I don't know. That's a minor gripe. I'm not hating, like, it's not making me hate the game or anything. I don't remember if I touched on story, like, the general feel of the story the last time I recorded. But I'm in Chapter 8 out of 14, so I'm somewhere around the 50% mark. And so far the story hasn't really clicked. This feels like a slow burn plot, which I don't think really works if your whole premise is, hey, the gods are trying to fuck shit up. But that's also a problem in games like, Breath of the Wild, where Zelda's like, oh my god, Link, hurry, I don't know how much longer I can keep Ganon at bay. Hold on, babe, let me go get these 999 Koroks first, okay? So, again, not really just a Dragon Age problem. It does seem like they put more focus... Oh, there went the camera. It does seem like more of their focus went towards the characters than the plot. But at the same time, like, the game has teased this, like, these side quests with the characters. And none of them are really going anywhere yet. And again, I am halfway through the game. The main plot. So, I don't know. But at the same time, in this last session I just did before I had to pause, they just casually dropped, like, some lore-changing, shattering revelations. Like, the fundamental history of the world of Thetis that we've come to know has been changed. I'm not going to say what, but hoo boy. And I don't know if the way you get these cutscenes is part of the main story or if it's a side plot. But because excuse me, when it comes to RPGs, I just do shit as I go. So I don't know what's main story, what's not. If this was a side plot, holy shit, you're going to drop bombshells like that as part of the side content? I don't know if that's good or bad. Part of me wants to think that it's probably main story, just because of what it deals with. Like, you would have had to have done this. But, again, I don't know. That's something for me to experiment with on my second run. I'll note that down as a thing to change. And see what happens. But, feel like I've got another big, monumental thing about to happen in the main story, so we'll see what happens. Other than that, don't really have a whole heck of a lot left to say that I've thought of at the moment. Oh, that's a lie. I just remembered. So, when it comes to the skill tree, I don't know whether I'm just stupid and not really, like, reading into, like, the different skills, like, what my abilities are, and really paying attention to, like, the fucking numbers and shit. But this skill tree makes me think of the skill fucking bush or field or fucking whatever Luke Stevens called it from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And that's not a compliment. Because it just felt like at a certain point in Valhalla that, like, none of your choices in the skill tree or bush or whatever made a damn bit of difference. And honestly, when it comes to this skill tree, I can't tell if I'm helping my character or, like, worsening my character. I really can't tell. Which, that's definitely a strike against the game. I also wish that there were ways of upgrading your health and the amount of potions you could carry. Granted, that didn't require side shit or items that you can find in the game. I wish there were ways to change, like, to upgrade those without any of that. Because right now, oh boy. Again, halfway through the game, and I've been stuck on 3 potions that I can carry for the bulk of the game. I found an item that lets me have an extra one. And when you die, there's a thing in the death menu about revives. Yeah, that's an item you have to find. Just somewhere out in the wild. There's no thing where you can go buy more, like there is in God of War. Just, hey, I just randomly found it. And it's like, hey, this is a revive. And I don't know if I wound up, like, using it. I don't remember. Anyway, that's all I've got for the moment. I will see you guys later tonight for my final thoughts regarding Day 4.
Sup everyone, this is going to be a quick one. We are at the end of Day 5 of Dragon Age Veilguard. I didn't really have an ending to Day 4 because I didn't really have anything to say. And kind of the same with the beginning of Day 5, and also I kind of forgot this is the beginning of the Day 5. I also had stuff to do this morning, so I didn't really start playing until late. So all I've really got so far for this day is my complaint about, we haven't really gotten to do anything with the companion side stuff. Turns out that's story related, so I guess that goes away. Though it is kind of... You know what? No, it's not really bizarre that they wait till this point in the story. I'm in part 9 now, with almost 39 hours in. You know what? It's not really that bizarre that they choose now to be when, let's deal with everybody's unfinished business. So, well, I started a couple of them. Let's see where they go. That's pretty much it. On to Day 6. Either a little bit tomorrow, Thursday, or definitely Friday. Till then.
Hey, everyone. This is going to be the final day. I've honestly lost track. I haven't touched this camera in a while. But I have continued to play Dragon Age the Veilguard. Sorry in advance, I am sick as crap right now. So I'm gonna power through this. This is gonna be my last couple clips in my series of updates on my thoughts about the Veilguard. At the time of recording, I am in the end game. I'm past the point of no return, which gotta be praised for whoever, whatever game first had the whole point of no return warning, because the game does warn you. It's like, hey, you should probably do all your crap now, because Yeah, like, this is the end game. Sorry, my throat hurts bad. So, I love the fact that that's been a thing in the last several different games I've played. God of War, Spider-Man, Dragon Age, and honestly, I think that just needs to be a standard in big games like this. It's just that warning of like, hey, you're about to finish the game. Should probably take care of stuff. You don't have things like accidentally triggering the final boss, which I hear a few people did in Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Like, they were just looking at an area and then wound up going to fight Ganon. So, I don't really have a heck of a lot to say that I don't think has changed any. Again, seriously, thank you for the whole point of no return thing. I do wish that, sorry. I do wish that there was a way to mark just random areas on your map. That would have been a lot more useful and helpful than just, like, not necessarily mark, like, objective points or whatever, or chests, which you can do, but just, like, certain points, like, just any random point in the map, I wish you could mark. I'm almost 70 hours into the game at this point. I'm in the upper 60s. I'm going to try to end it on 69 because I'm a child. And I think sex jokes are funny. Story-wise, we've finally hit a couple of areas where your decisions actually carry weight. But or at least to me, it feels like they carry weight. I'll go over that when I talk about spoiler stuff, which I am going to do later in this video. But, like, the fact that it's the end game when this kind of stuff hits, like, I don't know. I do not know. Like, I feel like we should have been making decisions that have weight and consequences kind of earlier in the story. There's still, to me, only one big decision in the game that actually feels like a big decision, but even then... Oh, God, I am dying. Should give my girlfriend the passwords to my stuff so she can upload this last video of mine. I ain't gonna do that. Anyway, I feel like there should have been more kind of weighty decisions that impacted stuff, because, like, even the one decision you make, like, I don't know, it doesn't feel as impactful. It really doesn't, not to me. Like, my mind just keeps going back to Dragon Age Inquisition and whether, you get the Templars to help you close the breach, or tentatively close the breach, or the mages, and then you have to, like, fight the opposite, like, whoever you didn't choose to help, because Corypheus takes them over. Stuff like that, And yeah, people could argue, like, that's, it doesn't really change much. Granted, I haven't gone back and done, like, getting the Templars on my side. I've always picked mages the 2 times that I've played it. Maybe I'll pick Templars the next time I do this and see how that goes out. I am at some point going to do a second run of this. I don't hate the game. I'm not bashing the game. there is room for an improvement right now, the way I see it. But I will go and do a second run, make some different choices, see how things play out, especially with some of the carryover choices from Inquisition. Like, it doesn't... I don't really see why a couple of those choices were there. That or I've just completely missed whatever they did to the narrative. It was like, I probably cut the beginning of my character creation because that was long and maybe I cut it, maybe I didn't, but I do remember there was a point where you could pick like who your Inquisitor romanced or whatever. And that hasn't been relevant, like, at all. Or at least if it has been, I completely skimmed over it. Whether you chose to keep the Inquisition around or, like, disbanded it, that one I probably will have to do the different choice to see how that impacts. I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to finish this game, because I've probably got maybe a couple hours left, hopefully only a couple hours, because, I want to hit the nice number. And then I will come back after I'm done. So, I'll see you in a few seconds. And there we have it. This is the save that leads me back to the ending cutscenes for Dragon Age the Veilguard. It is done with 68 hours, 58 minutes, and 43 seconds completion time. I'm gonna just go ahead and round that up to say I beat it in 69 hours. Nice. Because I'm a child. Oh, good lord. That was a heck of a last couple hours. Yeah. They definitely saved the most epic of set pieces for the ending, which kind of makes sense. I do definitely want to do at least one or more runs just to kind of see how things could play out differently. I think I somehow wound up with the best ending. I will now, like, Google stuff and look around online and see, what kind of other endings there are, what people got. There is a tease at the end credits, for a potential 5th game. But I'll give my thoughts on all of that when this cuts over to whenever I decide to talk about the game in full, which I might need a few days to not only get over this congestion, but to digest how I feel about the game as a whole, take notes, see what I've talked about over my clips, and all that fun, happy crap. Anyway, the game is done. Right now, as I sit with it, you know what? It wasn't a bad game. But I'll get into more of that later. So, I'll be back eventually to finish this up. But for anybody watching this, it'll be, in a second. So.
Alright, and now you're seeing Future Will, who, after he recorded that that clip at the start of this video, my phone is not on silent, Future Will, who, after he recorded that first clip, did not know that his illness was going to get worse. And it has been a few days now since that last clip was made. So, yeah, fun.
It's a good thing I only do this as a hobby and have no schedule to keep whatsoever. Excuse me. As you can tell, I'm still sick. So, great. And if you see me wincing in pain at any point after coughing, there's reasons for that. I ain't gonna get into it. We're gonna finish talking about Dragon Age the Veilguard. Largely a lot of what you just saw still stands, in my mind. And it's now at this point that I am going to talk about spoilers. Before we get into that, though, gameplay, I think it's still fine. I think it's sort of like a middle ground, not quite Dragon Age 2, but it's not Dragon Age Inquisition. It's definitely not Origins. It was never going to be Origins. And the people that are unhappy it's not Origins have been unhappy since Origins came out. There was no getting around that. Dragon Age has not been anything like Origins, to my memory, since Dragon Age Origins came out, and the people that are, unhappy about that have been unhappy for over a decade. So there was just never going to be any pleasing them. That's not me shitting on Dragon Age Origins, that's just me tempering the expectations of, well, being realistic, not tempering, being realistic about the expectations of people who have been online talking about this game. And by talking, I mean largely complaining and shitting on it. So, do I think this game is the worst pile of garbage in the world? Fuck no. This game is not the worst pile of garbage in the world. I have played worse. Worst does not really come to mind at the moment. That's largely because anytime I have a bad experience with media, I do my absolute damnedest to delete it from my brain until something forces me to remember it. If I think of a worse video game, I'll get back with y'all. Anyway, moving on. So, let's talk about some of the story. Particularly one thing that I do want to talk about, that I've got a few opinions on, is some of the major revelations that have come out with this game. And a lot of it having to do with the elven gods. It was the elven gods all along. Everything is the elven gods. Every fucking problem in Thetis is because of the elven gods. The fucking issues with the dwarves not being able to dream and the titans being, pissed off, that's the gods. The fucking blight, it's the gods. What else? What else was the gods' fault? Oh, the fucking Black City in the Fade that's supposed to belong to the Maker. Nope, it's the gods. It's literally the prison of the gods. Like, this game shakes the foundation and rewrites the history of what we know in Thetis. And I don't know if that's for the better or for the worse. Because I had seen some discourse online calling these, unneeded retcons, and that it makes everything, not as exciting, and, again, just that word retcon. Like, this was the established story, except it wasn't. Sorry, I thought I heard something. Except for the fact that it wasn't, particularly when it comes to, the Chant of Light, the religion of, the Chantry, the whole thing with Andraste. Yeah, Andraste receives visions from the Maker, and we never actually get a definitive answer if there is a maker. That's still up in the air, but everything that we've heard about the Chant of Light, regarding the Tevinter, gods or mages or whatever it was, I've been out of the lore for a while. I'm definitely gonna need to do a refresh on this series. But, the people that broke into the golden halls of the Maker, and that's what caused the blight, that was all religious doctrine. There was nothing stating that was absolute truth. And, religious doctrine can take stories that have been handed down or that happened in the past and sort of layer on a filter of their own beliefs and, take it into whatever direction they want to take it. I mean, my own religion in particular, how many old stories have a giant flood? A great flood. Fucking lot of them. So for all we know, that in the world of Thetis, this whole thing with the elven gods causing the blight, trapping the blight, and some of it getting out after, something happened. I forget exactly how it's explained in Veilguard. That could have been what actually happened, and then, the ancient Thetisans, the ancient denizens of Thetis, got a hold of the story, and however the chant of the religion of the Chantry came about, they took that story and molded it to their needs, to their narrative. To my recollection, none of this really stands as a retcon. But what it might be instead is answers that we didn't need, and answers that aren't as satisfying. For all we know, this might have been in the plan from the beginning, that, the ancient elven gods, which were spirits, by the way, were the cause of all it. They are, the big issue. It's that fucking, Ancient Aliens myth, the guy with the wild hair, that's aliens, except now it's elven gods. So, I won't lie, my mind was blown when I sat there and was watching those cutscenes, Solus's memories, and just the implications of it. And after thinking about it now, I don't know where I sit with it. If anything, I think it does remove some of the mystery of the world of Dragon Age. I think it removes a lot of it, actually, because now we're just left with, is there really a god? Or a maker? And, obviously, and I've been listening to this book on Audible, along with reading it, because I'm one of those people. I've been listening to Mass Empire, and one of them makes the remark that, the Maker created the elves just like humanity. Except now we know that's false. No, they didn't. Or no, the Maker didn't. The elves came from the Fade. The elven gods are from the Fade. They were spirits. And then, they took on bodily forms by stealing lyrium from the Titans, the, progenitors of the dwarves. A whole conflict was ensued. The Titans were basically made tranquil. They were lobotomized, which then created the Blight, and it's a whole fucking thing now. It really is. So I don't necessarily know if these were questions that needed to be answered. I do think it takes out some of the mystery of the world. And you know what? It's fine to have some mysteries left over in your big, in your big fantasy world. It's nice to have stuff for fans to talk about, to theorize about, and it keeps your world alive, even if, you go a decade in between games, or you're done, or anything like that. You don't need to solve every mystery. And Veilguard, I feel like, as a game, is trying to sort of, maybe not necessarily end the series. It definitely feels like it's trying to end the narrative that was kind of, sort of, not really, in my opinion, started all the way back in, fucking hell, when did Dragon Age Origins even come out? Wasn't it, like, 2009? Yeah, 2009. It kind of sort of feels like Veilguard is attempting to put a pin, or, like, not put a pin, to put an end to the narrative that was started all the way back in 2009 with Dragon Age Origins. Because by the end of this game, all the archdemons are dead. So, theoretically, the blights should be done. I mean, I know that the Grey Wardens towards the end of the game are like, yeah, something's different about the blight, something else is going on. But like, the Darkspawn hunting down the archdemons to cause a blight, that's done. Because all the archdemons are dead. Obviously, all the stuff with Hawk's been wrapped up. The story that was left from the end of Inquisition is done. So it feels like it's both trying to be an ending to one thing and to start something else. And with that in mind, I'm going to talk about the secret ending that you get if you collect these 3 circle artifacts that are in different places in the game. I didn't even know there was a secret ending, that it was a secret ending. I found out later that you can totally miss this if you don't find these things. I just, spent 69 hours in the fucking game, and I walked around looking around every single corner I could find. But when you collect these things, you hear bits of a conversation, and at the end, that same voice, this is a post-credit scene, at the end, that same voice is talking, and it seems like they're taking credit for everything that's happened in the Dragon Age universe. From Logain's betrayal in Origins, to the Red Lyrium statue in DA2, to Corypheus in Inquisition, and now they put everything in motion to where all the Evanurus, all the elven gods are gone. And now their master plan is getting ready to be unleashed in presumably Dragon Age 5. Because, yeah, I believe they said there's no DLC coming for Veilguard. They just wanted to put the whole game into the main release, and that's what we were getting. They didn't want to hold anything back, which, honestly, I kind of respect that. I respect that now. Just given how many times, these gaming companies will cut out pieces of games and try to, hawk it to you for frickin' DLC. And I get it. Businesses do it. They need to make money. It's shitty. I don't fucking like it. What's really worse is the fucking, like, games like COD that want you to spend $10 on a fucking, like, skin to make your sniper look like a neon monster can. Spoiler alert, you stand out like a fucking sore thumb. Have fun getting picked off by the guy that you can't see because he's not walking around with a neon-colored gun. Or, you know, like those freaking sports games that have, like, all these wrestlers or all these, you know, players that, you know, we want you to pay stupid amounts of money for. We could have absolutely put them in the game, but, fuck you, buddy, we want more money. That sort of shit pisses me off. Like, I'll pay for, you know, an expansion or extra story content, but if it's like a fucking 10-minute quest, looking at you, Ubisoft, if it's like a fucking 10-minute quest, or something that was clearly just cut out of the game, so you could, you know, fucking nickel and dime your players, go fuck yourself. It's my take on that. But yes, I appreciate the fact that they, you know, we're not getting DLC, that they just want to put the whole thing out into the world. Hey, here's the game. Anyway, back to the secret ending. So we have this group that is, you know, claiming that they're behind all this stuff that's happened in the first 4 games, and now they're going to be the big bads of Dragon Age 5, and we get their symbol at the end of the cutscene. And it is a symbol that I actually completely forgot about, because I had to look up who these people were. And it is the symbol of the, I think they're called the Executors. They're this mysterious group or organization or whatever that's out beyond the sea, presumably somewhere out around where the Kunari originally came from, which is another plot point that, a bit of setup that we'll get to in a moment. There are these mysterious people that have been watching things, according to, you know, their own words, in Dragon Age Inquisition, which you can find their symbol on things, and like, you can choose to try and figure out who they are or completely fucking ignore them, and they're just sort of watching events unfold. And now they seem to be poised to be the next big bad in Dragon Age 5. Sorry, I'm still sick. So, I don't like this whole idea of, oh, we've had this shadowy organization in the background that's just been manipulating events behind the scenes, because unless you've got that planned from, like, the fucking get-go, it doesn't really ever work. Fucking, they tried it in the recent James Bond films, the Daniel Craig ones, where, you know, fucking movie 4, Blofeld's, like, you know, like, they connect, Mads Mikkelsen and the fucking dude from Quantum of Solace that nobody remembers, and fucking, the guy with, like, half a melted face from Skyfall to, the fucking Spectre organization, and Blofeld's been behind all of it. I am the architect of all your misery, or whatever the fuck he says to Bond. Unless it's really set up from the beginning that, you know, and you've got hints to this, like, throughout, it doesn't really ever work. And honestly, like, the one thing that bugs me the most is, like, the idea that they, you know, sort of influenced Loghain into, you know, betraying King Kalen. That kind of cheapens his story a little bit, in my opinion. It's like, he had these interesting motives and stuff, and now it's just like, oh, You were being mind-fucked by robed people that we don't know who they are. Cool. What way to enhance the story, bro. So, in terms of future content, I'm a little less excited on that front. What do I think of the story overall? The story overall is okay. It's not the best by far. I like Inquisition more. I don't know which game is my favorite because, again, it's been like 10 years since I played these. But I do like Inquisition more than this one, just from a story standpoint. I feel like the story was tighter in Inquisition. I definitely feel like... I feel like part of the problem with Dragon Age the Veilguard is it brings stuff up and stuff happens and it lingers just a bit longer than it should. Like, things go a little longer than they should. One thing that comes to my mind, and I'll decide better on this when I do my second run of the game, because I am going to do a second run. I want to try to alter some stuff, see what happens, and come back to you with another video talking about it. One of the segments that comes to mind is the first time we ever really see, I think it's the first time, that we see Algernon proper, when, they're in, oh, what the hell, it's the fucking woods. It's the woods where the Veil Jumpers are, and that whole, we need to save them because ritualistic bullshit, like, other than seeing the giant-ass fucking archdemon and seeing Algernon proper, it doesn't really do anything. Yeah, Algernon tries to mindfuck him, and, you know, Nev and Balara are needed to put a stop to it, but the mindfuckery doesn't really happen again. Like, I don't know, I just didn't feel like it was really needed. Like, it didn't do much. For me. I could change... I could change my mind on it when I go through my second run, so, we'll see what happens. The story overall is okay. I definitely don't think I would have done a slow burn story on the whole, you know, oh, the gods are trying to end the fucking world. That seems like something that, you know, we should really fucking get on. The story seemed to focused a lot more on the companions and what's going on in their lives, as well as trying to, you know, stop the gods. And, some of the companions' stories... Okay, I'm gonna talk about it. I made up my mind I was going to talk about it, and now I'm hesitating, but I'm going to talk about it. Not all of the companions' personal stories are that compelling, which is a shame, because normally the companions are really what me and a couple of the people I know that play these games talk about. Like, it's what you remember, is the people in your party. Literally the friends we made along the way. Or enemies in the case of Dragon Age 2. Like, you can actually piss people off and then have to fight them. I didn't have that happen, thankfully. From what I remember. But not all of them really shine or have that compelling of a story. And the one that comes to my mind is the one that every jabroni on the internet decided to go after, was Tosh. The Kunari Dragon Hunter. Who, their A-plot is them not knowing who they are as a person. in particularly revolving around them being non-binary. And now you know why I mentioned the jabronis. Because, of course, the non-traditional character has a bit of weak writing, in my opinion. And that really... I didn't really connect with Tasha's story that well. And I feel like it's largely because her whole A-plot... Yeah. I feel like Tasha's whole A-plot of the non-binary thing was really immersion breaking. I don't have a problem that Tasha's non-binary. Let me put that out right now. I have zero problem with it. I am not at all saying that Tosh should not have been in the game, or should have been a man, or should have been a woman, or should have been whatever. I am totally cool with having a non-binary Kunari in my party. As a warrior, Tosh is kind of badass. And Tosh breathes fire! That's fucking cool! But I don't think they handle the story that well. It's kind of immersion breaking, because now I'm just reminded of the real world shit, and this stupid fucking culture war shit, and now I'm just thinking about that instead of, you know, trying to get invested in this story of a person who is torn between two different things, and they don't know who they are. Yeah, you got the non-binary stuff, but beneath that, you also have, you know, am I a Kunari who follows the ways of the Kun, like my mother wants me to do, or am I Ravani, like, you know, the culture that my mother, who ran away from the Kun, brought me to live in? Oh, and who am I really? Because I'm apparently rare as shit because I can breathe fire. What does that mean for me? And that's one of the setups that they kind of give towards the whole, you know, the executors. It's like the reason that, like, Kunari who could breathe fire were necessary to defend against something evil, like beyond the sea. And that's kind of what drove the Kunari to Thedas. The seeds for the who am I story is there. And I feel like if more of the focus, like, had been shifted towards, you know, what kind of Kunari am I and who am I because of this whole fire breathing thing, I feel like that should have been more of the A-plot. And of course, you know, you got the bullshit with the Dragon King, yada yada yada. Which, Dragon King's B-plot, literally know nothing about him, other than he wanted Tosh for some reason. I actually don't remember why. Again, totally could totally have Tosh as non-binary. Could have had the whole they-them thing. Totally fine with it. But I feel like... I feel like the story should have been more... The more who am I plot should have been centered around, you know, who am I as a person? Like, what culture am I a part of? What am I actually because I can do this thing? That's something we can all, like, empathize with. We all struggle with that question of identity. Who am I in this great big world? Who am I in this vast cosmos? Like, we have so many facets to our identities as people, and sometimes they conflict and struggle against each other, and that's something that I think people can relate to. But they chose to go with the, you know, they chose to go the route that they did. And I feel like that made the writing a bit weak. And, you know, you can feel free to shit on me and tell me I'm wrong. That's fine. That's totally fine. I don't know enough about it. This is just my opinion, and again, I'm totally cool with Tosh as a non-binary character. Fine by me. I am cool with any kind of representation that you want to have, so long as you give me a good character and a good story that I can get myself invested in. Excuse me. Give me those two things, I'm sold. I don't care who or what they are. Like, none of that stuff matters to me. I know it does to a bunch of fucking jabronis, and you know what? They can go fucking take a hike. It's fucking stupid. And honestly, the reason I think that those jabronis want to shit on this fucking game, and Tosh in particular, is because, when a traditional character, like, a straight man or straight woman, is written badly, it's just bad writing. But when it's a non-traditional character, like Tosh, it's woke, and it's the liberal agenda trademark. You're fucking stupid. Get the fuck out of here. That's my stance on that. So, like I said, a lot of the my lungs would cooperate. I promise you're not going to see me down on camera. Largely because this video won't get uploaded if I do. But anyway, the story largely focuses on the companions, which I think for a smaller scale story, like something akin to Dragon Age 2, like something like that would have been fine for a more companion-focused piece. But not, hey, the world's ending. Or, like, heck, even Dragon Age Inquisition had that. They had a whole end-of-the-world plot at the start of the game, but they minimized the danger. The danger's still there, but now it's not as impending. And then they did, the rest of the game. With Veilguard, it feels like the gods only get around to doing stuff when the plot's ready for them to do stuff. Like, when the plot's ready for it, okay, we're going after the gods, they're doing shit, let's fucking go. And now let's talk about some of the more, traditional RPG type stuff. And particularly the argument I've been seeing circulating around the internet recently around this game, about whether or not it even is an RPG. Which, for anyone that doesn't know what that means, it means role-playing game. And a lot of what I see when it comes to the people that want to argue that it's not an RPG, it's not even close, it shouldn't be called that, is the comparisons to Baldur's Gate 3. Which, Baldur's Gate 3 came out last year. It's widely regarded as a masterpiece. It's like the gold standard for role-playing games now. Which both these games were in development around roughly at the same time. And I'll be real, Baldur's Gate 3 came out last year. Veilguard stood no chance. Even if everyone agreed that it was a great game, comparing it to Baldur's Gate 3, it was not going to have any chance. Because now granted, I've not played Baldur's Gate 3. I've looked at gameplay for it, it does not seem like my type of thing. That's not me shitting on Baldur's Gate 3. It's just my personal taste in gaming. From what I have seen, Baldur's Gate 3 is essentially a D&D campaign as a video game. Like, you sneeze, and the world alters. Like, you can kill whoever, you can fuck whoever, you can decide how the story plays out in so many different fucking ways. And then to add in all the shit that they've added in since then, all these different endings. You can go full on fucking evil. You can get to the end of the story and take over as the fucking bad guy. You can do all this sorts of different shit. Your level of agency as a player in that game is just off the fucking charts. And you know what? That's fucking cool. That's awesome. I love that for people who want that. But to sit there and then say, well, you know, if a game isn't this, you know, I can fucking kill the king that's supposed to, you know, be like a main character in this fucking story, and the story has to, you know, fucking morph itself around my murder hobo bullshit. I'm sorry, I don't agree. I do not agree with that. I think, in my opinion, Dragon Age Veilguard is an RPG, but it is an action RPG. You are given a role. Your role is, the role you are playing is Rook. You kind of choose Rook's personality. You choose what he says, he or she says, he, she, they, whatever your preference. You mold Rook into whatever image you want. To a degree, you control what Rook says. To a degree, you control Rook's personality. And it is in these lower degrees, in comparing to the rest of the Dragon Age series, is where I think Veilguard falls in terms of being an RPG. It is an action RPG. You have your role. You're going to be led through this story. And that's all the Dragon Age games. You can't decide at the end of fucking Origins, you know, the golden perfect child of the series, that, oh, I'm gonna, you know, fucking ride the fucking archdemon and just kill everybody at the end. You can't do that. Your goal as the warden, the hero of Ferelden, is to kill the archdemon. That is what you're gonna do. You can't decide at the end of Inquisition to, you know, take Corypheus's power as your own, because you're the Inquisitor. You are to stop Corypheus. That is your story that you are being led through. Yes, there's plot points that you're taken through, that you have some agency over how they play out, and how the world is shaped by this. And it is by that standard, that I feel like Veilguard needs to be compared. And in my opinion, it does fall short. Like, I can't really think of many instances of a major decision in Veilguard. Granted, towards the end, you get a sort of, you know, like a fucking, a decision similar to the Vermeer choice in Mass Effect 1, where you gotta decide if fucking Harding or Davrin dies. Also, fuck you guys for making it, you know, fucking the dude who just has the adopted Griffin's son and, you know, wants to do right by the Griffins, and the fucking cute, nice dwarf. Fuck you guys. That's me as a player talking, not me as reviewer. I was just bitter about that. And I didn't do this myself because I somehow wound up with what I think is like the perfect good plus whatever run the first time I did it. Which, how the fuck did that happen? But I think towards the end, you have a sort of Mass Effect 2 scenario where, you know, if any of your companions have unfinished business, it's going to cause them to stumble, their head's not going to be in the game, if they're not picked for the right roles, that sort of thing, they die. I have not seen this personally. I might try to cause a few of those when I do my second run, and I'll get back to you. But, like, for the most part, the biggest decision I can remember making is towards around, I want to say, the end of Act 1, when you choose to go save Treviso or Minrathous from an archdemon attack. But really, granted, I haven't looked at the whole save Treviso instead of Minrathous. My good friend has actually done that, so I'm waiting on her to tell me what happened. Although I'm definitely going to pick Treviso during my second run, so I can see for myself. But, like, I don't think that really matters. I do not think that really changes much. Now, I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. And if I am, I'll admit it in my other video. But, like, I don't think it does. And it's by these standards that I feel like Veilguard falls short. Not, you know, compared to the god of role-playing games with, like, fucking S-tier level agency. Where, you know, yeah. I made my argument. Yes, in my opinion, Veilguard is an action role-playing game. But by comparing it to the rest of the games in this series, it does fall short. So, but, you know, that's my 2 cents on that whole fucking argument. And honestly, I should have wrote down everything I want to talk about, because now my mind's drawing a blank. So, I think this video is long enough. I'm gonna have fun editing this, because there is so much. And, oh, there will be a bonus upload to go with this. I was gonna include my character creation as part of my initial, you know, whole, you know, play-along, diary, fucking whatever I was gonna do with this. But instead, I am going to take all those character creation clips, put them into one video, and then upload that. So you should get that later this week, next week, if I can, I don't know, whenever I get it done. So, you know, you ain't gotta watch it. It's literally just me talking to the camera, going through all the different, you know, character creation stuff. I will say, I feel like Veilguard has the biggest, like, list of shit you can do in a character creation that I've ever played. That I have played. Oh, another thing that I will give Veilguard props for, now I just thought about it. I only had one bug. The whole time I played. I had one bug, and it was Nev having a pathing problem. Like, she was off her path and just running into something for like 10 seconds. And then she got back on the path and was fine. One bug in a $70 AAA game in 2024. I feel like that is something to, you know, give them a pat on the back for. 'Cause how fucking rare is that nowadays? Oh, I remember the last thing I want to talk about. And I fucking did homework on this. So I would have just completely fucked myself over and done all that homework for nothing. So this should have gone in with the fucking companion stuff. I'm sorry. The romances. Every member of the Veilguard is a romance option. I'm 80% sure that it does not matter what your character is, you can romance any of them. I'm pretty sure fucking all the companions are fucking pansexual. Or bisexual, or fucking whatever word would apply here. I'm gonna annoy the shit out of the people I know, personally, that fall into both of those categories. Whatever, it doesn't matter what you are as a character, you can date somebody. You can date any of them. I picked Balara, personally, for my first run. I will not for my second. Just because, you know, I want something different for my second run. And then I went and looked at videos on all the rest. I definitely feel like they dropped the ball when it comes to the romance stuff. It does, like, every video that I looked at was not even 20 minutes. And that's compiling all the different, you know, romance cutscenes. Like, what? Like, you basically don't even get to, like, hey, we're committed to each other until, like, 3/4 of the way through the game. And, you know, if you're me and you put fucking 69 hours into this, 69 hours of gameplay, 20 minutes is all you give us for, you know, our love of choice? Really? Like, that kind of sucks. And also, some of the writing for some of these relationships, not a lot of them are that mature. Nev, Lucanus, and Emmerich are really the only ones that come across to me as, like, mature relationships. Which, by the way, spoilers for the fucking Emmerich relationship, fucking coffin sex was not on my bingo card for this game. Just saying. I don't even want to try to imagine how difficult sex in a coffin would be. I don't know how people manage cars. Never mind a coffin. Like, just... no. Anyway. But... a couple... breathe. A few of the others, Ballara, Harding, and Tosh in particular, come across as awkward in places. Like, either the person you're romancing is kind of awkward, or you are. And I'm just like, this doesn't feel right. Like, at all. Like, even when I was watching the videos, I'm like, this just feels wrong. I don't know. This is a personal taste thing. Davrin was the only one in the middle ground, and even then, some of the dialogue with his, particularly, you know, flirting, using hunting innuendos, I'm just like, really? Really? That's what you're going with? Okay. I mean, I'm shit at flirting, but, like, I don't think I'm this. But, you know, what do I know? Again, personal taste. And also, fucking... and this is more of a why bother. I think you see when I do my character creation, there is a nudity option. That you can turn on and off. There is zero nudity in this game. Like, zero. You want to know what it does? It decides whether or not you have a shirt in your love scenes. You know, before you go do the final rush for the boss. Like, why have it at all if that's, like, if that's all you're doing with it, why have it at all? Like, I don't care. I don't need to really see tits or ass. I mean, if it's there, it's there. I'll deal with it. But, like, why? Why bother? Like, if there's not tits and ass in the game, or dong, even, if none of that's in the game, why bother with a nudity filter? It's just a weird choice to me, game design-wise. And on that weird note, I'm going to sign off on this video and get to work putting it together. I don't know how long it'll be before I get Come on, Lungs, hold on. Just hold on for a minute. I don't know how long it'll be before I get to my second run of Veilguard. I did get Silent Hill 2, the remake, recently. I want to get through that. A buddy of mine also gave me Uncharted 4 to play that I need to get through. But before all that, I got a, fucking chonker of a book to read that is coming out in 2 days as of time of recording. So, there will be a secondary video to talk more about Veilguard, my opinions on it, whether or not I'm wrong about some of the stuff I talked about in this video. So there will be more. Eventually. I do not know when. If you're gonna comment, please be nice. Don't be a dick. Like, there's no need for that. Especially if you're one of those, jabronis that I told to fuck off, and you feel attacked. Yeah, I'm not gonna apologize. So I guess if you want to be a dick, fine, but know that I will probably delete your bullshit if you're an asshole. But anyway, if you're gonna comment, be nice. I am perfectly open to constructive criticism and actual discussions about this game. Do I think it's worth $70? Not really. If you can wait for a sale, go for it. Do I think it's as good as the rest of the Dragon Age games? No, I don't. I'll eventually get around to replaying the other three, and maybe I'll tweet out on Twitter or Blue Sky what my favorite one is. Or, if I get around to playing them before I do Dragon Age Veilguard again, I can just say it then. But that is a lot of RPG time to play. And, dear God. Holy shit. Anyway. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to all this. I will see y'all next time.